व्यासेन क्रलिता पुराणं मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणी भगवते अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दतामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी.
Once again, Vedanti.
Vedanti
says, Shastra is not a pramana with reference to seen results, but only with reference to unseen results. There is yet another problem here. Kincha.
Kincha meaning?
Kincha.
Whereas.
Kincha. Anyadu avihitam apratishidva
Apratishtam.
Apratishidva Aprasidva Pratishidva
Karma Tat
Kalapalam Na tu Nya
Shastra
Choditam Pratishthidam Va Tat Kalapalam Bhave Yati Tada Swarga Dishyavi Adrishta
Pala Sasane
Cha Uddama Nasyat
Udyamaha Nasyat. So that he has already explained here. He says that. You can just read it. Yeah.
A number of karmas.
What is explaining here? Yeah.
A number of karmas that we do are laukika karmas. That is, they are not enjoined or prohibited by the Shastra. Exercise, for example, is not enjoined by the Shastra, nor is it prohibited. It is not like the daily prayers at dawn, noon, and dusk that are enjoined by the Shastra for certain people with statements such as Aharaha Sandhyam Upasita.
Sandhyam Upasita.
Aharaha
meaning every day. Sandhyam during the
day by day.
Meeting point between sunset and sunrise, and then during the day, Chikalam, all those things. Upasita, do that Upasana. Yeah.
It is a thing to be done. But there are a number of activities we do which are not enjoined by the Shastra as things to be done or not. What is the result of such karmas? They have an immediate result that is visible at the very time that the karma is being done. When you exercise, there is a visible result of sweating and depletion of energy. It is not going to end punya or papa for you because it is not mentioned by the Shastra as a thing to be done or avoided. From that we understand that a particular karma that is enjoined or prohibited by the Shastra has an unseen result, adrishtapala. There alone Shastra.
There alone. THRE, not the mistake, it's a typo.
There alone, Shastra serves as a means of knowledge. Shastra is not with reference to visible results, Drishtapala, but to subtle unseen results, Adrishtapala. When the Shastra says that one should not eat meat, Kalanjam
na bhakshayet.
Kalanjam
na bhakshayet means not meat eating. Meat eating should be avoided. Yeah.
It is not on the grounds of health. Though it may confirm your common sense, your instinctive values, it has some other purpose. By prohibiting it, the Shastra tells you that doing such an action will produce an unseen, undesirable result, papa, that will be experienced as an unpleasant situation at some time in the future. As a prohibited karma will produce an adrishtapala called papa, an enjoined karma will produce punya. Because punya and papa are not immediately seen by you, they are called adrishta. but they are standing in your account. How do I know? Because the Shastra says so. There is no other means of knowledge for it. The result that is seen is not the common concern or the domain of the Shastra. When this is so, it is the pain, if the pain that is involved in Kama karma as well as the Nitya karma is the only result of doing them, why should the Shastra enjoin you to do them?
So this way one more argument is giving, saying that the pain undergone while doing any Shastriya karma or Asastriya karma, since it is Drishtapalam, straight away you are seeing it now, it has nothing, it's not within the scope of Shastra. So you cannot bring it within the scope of Shastra and say the pain involved while doing a Nitya karma or Kamya karma will take care of my earlier papas. You cannot say that because that is not Shastra. It is not Shastra. It is not Papa and Punya are Shastra Vihitam. Okay. So a karma that is enjoined by the Shastra Vihitam or Pratishiddham not doing that only will give you a result of Punya or Papa reducing the Punya or Papa. Okay. So you should not bring Laukika karma, whatever pain involved and all that. You cannot say my doing exercise I am involving some pain. Because of that, I will my papa will reduce. It is not tenable because it is, you are taking it out of the scope. Papa punya is a what you call is a prakriya, is a model within the Shastra. So what is applicable within the Shastra in terms of Vidhi karma, Pratishiddha karma will take care of your punya papa, either add to it or reduce it. That way we must say within that. He is telling it because he is telling it to the Purva Paksha because he has Shraddha in the Shastra. So to him he is telling, don't take it out of the scope of the Shastra and try to compensate for Papa and all that. It's not correct. That's what he is trying to say. The logic is not correct. Yeah.
The Shastra need not tell me how to get an immediate result. And why should it tell me to do something that is going to cause pain? In fact, doing a karma enjoined by the Veda helps me avoid pain. I do not know anything about an Agnihotra karma. And when I look into the Shastra, I find that it tells me that I must do this daily. Why do I do it? Because I will get some result. What is the result? Well, if it is pain, dukkha, who will do it? How can the Shastra enjoin it? The Shastra does not have to say anything about a visible result. If it did, there would be no effort on the part of the Shastra to enjoin a karma, which is meant to produce an unseen result like heaven, etc. If karmas produce only visible results, Drishtapala, why should the Shastra engage itself in pointing out results like heaven that are unseen results? Adrishtapala. They will fructify in time, either in this life, later, or in another life. Therefore, the unseen result alone is in the vision of the entire thing. When it enjoys,
enjoys karma.
When it
Your volume
enjoys
is
karma.
okay. From my side, get less.
Why say ordinary?
So கம்மியா இருக்கு. Volume கம்மியா இருக்கு நினைக்கிறேன் bro.
Therefore, the unseen result alone is in the vision.
But you are not.
Is in the vision
So
of
also
the
the very clear
Shastra
in the sense,
when it enjoins karma.
all the what you call, all the enjoined karma by the karma kanda in the Veda will have only unseen results, like Drishtapala only. There's nothing to do with Drishtapala. Just what is just in front of you or something like that. That is Tauki karma, even any karma which you do, like when you do when you put samit in the fire smoke comes up, and the smoke gives you tears. That has nothing to do with this, what you call, reducing the papa and all that. Because you have tears in your eyes, your papa will get reduced. No. All those things are very obvious, common sense. But still, since the Purva Paksha talks about reducing your papa karma by getting through the pain involved in doing karma, which says not within the scope of the Shastra, don't bring it here. It's not correct. Whether you do good karma, you will get some punya. Whether you do some bad karma, you will get some papa. That will all go into your account. It has nothing to do with your past karma, punya or papa. Past karma, punya, papa will still stay in your account. So by doing punya karma, papa karma, you are not going to utilize all your karma. Because only prarabdha karma will be taken care of. That is what is by which you have taken this body. Only that will be taken care of by your this thing. And prarabdha karma, even if suppose you do some yajna, the effect of the prarabdha karma you will dilute it by neutralizing the durita, by doing this prayachitta karma, good karma, whatever you do, you will be able to face your prarabdha very cheerfully without crying. But for that you do a good karma, live a good life. So it takes care of your prarabdha karma, no doubt. But all your past karma, sanchita karma, and a punya karma which is going to accrue later will not be accounted for by in this life. So your karma account will still continue. So by doing karma, you are not going to exhaust all karmas. By living this life very judiciously, by doing good karma and all that, you are not exhaust all your punya papa in your account. So definitely you will take a birth. The only way not to take a birth or to make all karmas neutralize is only by way of understanding that you are the akarta. That is the Shastra Pramana. The whole point of view of Shankara especially very clear that Jnana Karma Samuchaya is not what it means of knowledge for moksha. Moksha is possible only by understanding or only by totally surrendering to Bhagavan as and oneness, either by bhakti or jnana. And bhakti also is basic that the sense, like Swamiji always used to say, once you know, once you think, the world is real. And then actually you bring in Ishvara and the Ishvara is all real. So thereafter, including your body, world includes your body, mind, senses and all that, whatever you do. So there is no scope, because nothing is in your hand thereafter. Once you say world is real and your body, mind, senses are part of the world, and Ishvara is the karma paradata and karma deksha, you are very clear that nothing is in your hands. So unless there is a total surrender of the self to the total, anything and everything is Bhagavan Arpanam. Bring a attitude, you start with the attitude and make it real. Make it real in your life. Okay, because you think world is real, Ishvara is real.
Yes.
So then your surrender also has to be real. Then it is possible. But it doesn't happen. Because why it doesn't happen? Because your buddhi is not able to surrender that individuality. Because why should I? Because your buddhi, the I is very much there. It's not addressed. It's purely you are forcing the surrender because of your buddhi says, your manas says that everything is totally not in my control and everything is real. So everything is real and nothing is in my control means total surrender alone will help. And there are people, because of some Guru Bhakti or Ishvara Anugraha or because of some Guru Janma, they may still have that total surrender attitude, keeping aside the ego and all that completely. So that is possible. And that is same as the Jnanam. Jnanam also, Jnanam is what? The world is unreal. So my own body, mind, sense is part of the unreal. Then what is real? I is the real. And Ishvara is also the real. With this understanding, I am able to look at the world and all the transactions as whatever happens, happens. Phenomenal world or natural things happen naturally. I am Purnam anyway. I am the Desakala Vastu Aparichinnam, timeless, spaceless, objectless being. I am very clearly see it. And I know that obviously by obvious extrapolation, Bhagavan also cannot be different from me. The same limitless can be only one. If I am limitless, Bhagavan included in me, or I am included in Bhagavan. Either way, it's one and the same, limitless. Once this understanding is very clear, then what happens? Whatever changes. The changing world is naturally a phenomenal world. It's not the changeless reality, but blessed by Asti, Bhati and Anantata. In the sense, everything is blessed by the same being, Ishvara or I, whatever Ishvara. So, continuously keep changing. Why it is changing? Because it cannot be like, unless it is real, it cannot stay changeless. For you to get an appearance of the world, it has to continuously change.
Yes.
Otherwise, like even I am told, Spandanam, Viva Spandanam. Like even that, for you, the Udhuvatiya, the pattern தெரியும். நிறுத்திட்ட போச்சு. Pattern will go off. That means what? There is no pattern. Pattern you are seeing because you சுத்திட்டே இருக்க.
Yeah.
சுத்தறது நிறுத்தியாச்சுன்னா, that way world is in motion. All the time in motion. Stars, planets, everything, earth, everything, including you and me. Within us, continuously cells are moving, mutating. Why? Because otherwise there won't be any life possible. So that gives us that understanding. This is a way of looking at it. This is a way of understanding. This understanding, when it is very clear, thorough, then that is also Uttama Purusha. Then your life is made, moksha. So that is Jnanam. So other is Bhakti. But other than that, all karmas are only meant for Adhishtapalam, giving you a good or bad birth next. So the argument that Purva Mimamsaka makes that by karma you can get moksha is untenable. That is the whole tatparya of the whole thing. But doesn't exclude karma in the normal parlance. Till the time you get to this understanding or total bhakti, you have to be doing the karma because that gives you the platform for proper ekagrata buddhi and apramata buddhi, all those things. Power, in the sense, power to study, understand, or power to even do bhakti. Bhakti is not easy. Swamiji always says jnanam is easy, understanding is easier. Total bhakti is only again Ishvara Vibhuti. It doesn't happen just like that. So, but anyway, there are people who still talk about that. But either way, it has nothing to do with karma. That is what he is trying to say. So that is the whole tatparya. That is why it doesn't mean that nitya karma, naitya karma should not be done or puja and all. No, it's not that. Puja, karma and all have their own. As long as do them as yoga, it helps. If you do them for punyam and papam, that also helps. But getting a better birth. So you don't get moksha. That is what he is trying to say. Moksha, freedom. Freedom from this samsara, meaning that I am a samsari. Samsara is not a problem. Samsara keeps changing. That is fine. But I should not be changing. But I will be associating myself totally with the changing world, but I should not be doing that is untenable. You must be able to see the unreality of it. If you don't see that, then naturally you will also change. Because you have totally identified with the changing body, mind, senses along with the world. So whatever changes that happen, it will happen to you also. Because you think that you are a changing person. So punya papa will happen. Even if you live a dharmic life, punya papa will keep happening. You will keep taking births and all that. Every time you come back, you will again do punya papa, go back, the chakra will continue. No. There is no way you can stop it. Because that is the niyati of the whatever you see. That is the niyati of the being. Even being is the gives that satta, spurti and the niyati. In the sense, it exists in me, it shines by me, and the whole connectivity is that the spandanam is also blessed by me, the being. So in that being it's all happening. Don't look elsewhere. Who is doing? Nobody else is doing. In your being only all this is happening. You call it Ishvara with some lot of reverence, fine. Otherwise you can say call being. And still one up. This is how it is. The earlier you one up, you will be able to have a proper perspective in life, and karma and all has its own place. Yoga has its place, understanding, bhakti all has its place. But proper understanding, overall understanding has to be proper. It cannot be very, the sense a point of view, you cannot take it and say. You must have the overall view, and point of view has a place as a point of view. It's all. That is what Swamiji always used to say. That is how we have to look at the whole thing. Whereas Purva Mimamsaka naturally he wants to, they just stick to everything because karma is told in the Veda, 99% of the Veda as karma. Just keep doing karma and it will give you moksha. Just keep doing karma is fine, but it will give you moksha is not fine. Because freedom means freedom from karma. You don't want to be doing endlessly karma. How can you be endlessly doing karma and say I want freedom? It's oxymoron. It won't work. That's what he's trying to say. Yeah.
It is not possible to imagine that Sankalpa alone changes the result. If there is no difference in the nature of karma, whether it is nitya karma or a kamya karma, the result should be the same. Nityanam Agnihotraadinameva karma swarupa visheshe anushthanayasa dukkha anushta anayasa dukkha matrena upakshayah kamyanamcha
anushtana ayasa
dukkha matrena upakshayah kamyanamcha swargadi mahaphalatvam anga iti kartavyadadi adikyetu asati palakamitva matrena iti na shakyam kalpayitum. Shankara.
So the same Agnihotra karma done as kamya karma will give you punya palam, and but if you don't do it as kamya karma, it will take care of your earlier papa. And this is karma is the same. It will take care of your earlier papa. It's not tenable. That's what he's trying to say. Yeah.
But the Purva Mimamsaka says that there is a special.
That's what he's explaining now. Yeah.
There is a special result for kamya karma, which is not there for nitya agnihotra. If the agnihotra done as kamya karma implies additional rituals, etc., we can say that it has some other result because something more is added. But there is nothing else added to the agnihotra. Whether it is a kamya agnihotra or a nitya agnihotra, the method of doing it, iti kartavyata, does not change. That being so, the special result of heaven for the kamya karma can only be due to it being the result that is desired by the one performing the ritual. If the performer is the desirer of some result like heaven, Swarga, he has the result of heaven. But this cannot be a valid argument. It is like saying that if someone drives a car just for the sake of driving, he will not proceed anywhere, whereas the one who drives to reach some destination will proceed. Is there any such thing? Suppose one person does the ritual for the sake of society, another does it for himself. Will the result be different? Because both are doing the same karma, the result will be the same. If one person goes around his neighborhood picking up trash because he wants to live in clean surroundings, and another person does it because he wants his neighbors to be happy, the result of the action is the same. The neighborhood is cleaned up. Just because one person is without personal desire, nishkama, will there be a better result? Will the adjacent neighborhood also be free from garbage? No. He has only cleaned up his own neighborhood. The result is the same, even though the bhavana, the attitude, is different. That attitude does not improve the result of the action. It is going to be the same. Or suppose
so very nice. You have to note this point very clearly. That attitude does not improve the result of the action. But bhavana will help you gain antakarana shuddhi. If you don't have any punya and all, you are not looking for any punya and all that, it will help you gain some antakarana because you have done it. The drishta palam will be there straight away because you are not doing it for punya for the future. You are doing it right away with the proper attitude. The bhavana will help you to have that antakarana shuddhi because why are you doing that antakarana shuddhi for what? For you to be having a very ekagrata so that I study. Because why that bhavana itself is your objective? Why? Because you understand the whole thing is meant for my higher understanding of the truth. It is not I am doing it for the small benefits and all that. That is the karma yoga power. Attitude is the karma yoga. The karma done as yoga helps you to have that antakarana shuddhi. Antakarana shuddhi means not just pure mind. Mind which is ready for jnanam. That is what, because why it is ready for jnanam? Because freedom, you are a mukshu. This is, you already have that apatata jnanam, like I want to be free from the samsaritvam. What is that samsaritvam? All the time getting buffeted by the papa and punya. Why? I have understood that the whole thing, my reality is the Purnam Brahma Aham Asmi, whereas all these changes are happening in the society. I've been identifying totally with my changing features like Manasu Buddhi and the world and all that. Now I have got through that, my Shastra, by Gita Upadesha in the beginning, I have got a reasonably good amount of understanding that aham na jayate mriyate va kadajit mayam bhutva na bhavito na bhuyaha ajo nitya saswato yam puranaha na hanyate hanyamane sarire. All those things, I have got that this identification from body, mind, senses as my reality. That I want to reinforce, that the freedom I want to enjoy, so that I am doing all this karma, whatever I am doing, the proper bhavana. So this bhavana reinforces that trust in studying and summoning up your reality, moksha. Whereas that is not, in terms of the result of that particular action, there won't be any change. If you clean up with a good attitude also, it will get cleaned up. If you clean up with the attitude of getting some punya also, it will still get cleaned up only. Nothing else will happen. So, the result is not going to be moksha. Karma done as yoga will not give you moksha. Karma yoga will only give you a prepared mind. You have to understand by the Shastra and Acharya that you are here and now free. You are unnecessarily associating with your body, mind, senses and so many in the world and all that. Because of your misplaced identity, you feel you are a samsari. That misplaced identity, misunderstanding has to be removed by proper understanding. That is jnanam. So jnanam alone will give moksha, not karma or karma yoga. That is Shankara's very clear contention. So that is how we have to look at this bhavana. Yeah.
Or suppose one person runs cross country to get into the Guinness Book of Records, and another person like Terry Fox. Terry, 1958 to 1981, a Canadian athlete whose transcontinental run helped raise more than $24 million for cancer research. Fox undertook the run called the Marathon of Hope after losing much of his right leg to bone cancer. Or suppose one person runs cross country to get into the Guinness Book of Records, and another person like Terry Fox does it for the Cancer Society. Will the result be different? The result is the same in the sense both cover the same number of miles, even though the first one is a Kamya Karma and the second one is not. The second one is a Nishkama Karma. There is no difference in the Karma Pala. The difference is only in the attitude. Whereas, Therefore, it is untenable to say that Nitya Karma has no Punya Phala. Since there is no improvement in the way it is done, there should be no special result for the Kamya Karma. It should be the same as the result of when the result is, what is it, Swamiji? It should be the same as the result of when the result
I think there is some typo. There is a typo. There is a problem here. I just read it. Yeah.
So it should be the same as the result of.
It should be the same as the result. When the result is the same, how can you say that?
It should be the same as the result. When the result is the same, how can you say that only Nitya Karma produces no result, whereas Kamya Karma produces heaven? This is not possible for anyone to imagine. There must also be an unseen result, Adhishtapala, for the Nitya Karma. It is a karma that is enjoined by the Veda, and when it is done, there must necessarily be punya. Therefore, the original argument that there is no result for the Nitya Karma, but there is fault incurred if it is not done, akarane pratyavaya dosha.
Which you have discussed before.
Akarane pratyavaya dosha. Is false.
Nitya Karma, we have been discussing it generally.
Yes.
Nitya Karma, when not done, there won't be any akarane pratyavaya dosha, is false, because it is assuming that instead of doing Sandhyavandan, if you do some going and doing some wrong thing, actually that's a pratyavaya dosha will be there. You are doing a wrong thing in place of the right thing. But if you don't do, and because of that you are meditating, because of that your meditation, you forgot the timing and all that, and you have to go to office, you skipped Sandhyavandan for a given day, meditation also is a good this thing and all that, so it doesn't matter. It won't create any pratyavaya, akarane pratyavaya dosha, which will not be happening, that situation. But normally it may happen. That is why they say, Anushtanam, you do, Nitya Anushtanam, don't miss. Because normally if you don't do the Anushtanam, you will be doing something stupid. That is the akarane pratyavaya dosha. So, don't say that because of not doing, you are getting some palam. No. Only when you do karma, you will have palam, whether good or bad. Not doing karma will not give you, that is illogical statement. That Shankara is very clear about it. Those things, you have to be logically, when you argue, you have to logically argue and leave it at that. You cannot twist it to our own convenience. That's what he is trying to say. And also, what more very important is that the punya, that one who does it as a nishkama karma, he said about that fox and all that, nishkama karma is doing for Loka Shankara Artham, definitely the benefit will go, the punya will go to the cancer society or getting more funds. It is already happening. He was able to raise so much of funds in 90s, 25 million funds for cancer. That is a drishtapalam, because attitude gives the drishtapalam possible. May still get some punya, but he is not interested in that. So the punya palam may be there, but his attitude is only in terms of drishtapalam. Likewise, our attitude is in terms of only drishtapalam, antakarana shuddhi, for me to pursue jnanam and understand the reality that I am free here and now. I have nothing to do with the body, mind, senses in terms of chakkar of this samsara and all that. That is drishtapalam. Here and now you will get it. Once you have focus, your bhavana, your attitude is in terms of karma as yoga, and then study and then understand and be a mukta purusha here and now, that nobody can stop it. Whereas punya palam will have its own. It is enjoined. That is a matrix of karma, punya, palam and all that. It's a matrix of prakriya. That is stipulated by Veda. If you do like this, you will get this. No, we cannot question it because we don't see it. Adrishtapalam cannot be seen.
Yes.
So we take it in good faith. To that extent, it is a pramana. Because we believe Veda is pramana, so whatever it says, it will happen. So that's only a belief system. We cannot verify it. Unverified belief done on the basis of what is enjoined in the Veda. So even though it is called pramana, it is not a pramana that can be verified. It is purely belief system. Karma kanda. Whereas same thing which we call Vedanta as pramana is drishtapalam, here and now. Aparokshena, once you pursue knowledge, you will get knowledge. And here and now, knowledge not later, understanding is here and now.
Yes.
Any understanding for that matter. 2 plus 3 equal to 5, once you understand it here and now, not in the next Janma. So that is the difference between drishtapalam and adrishtapalam. And naturally, a prudent person will like to go for drishtapalam. In anything for that matter. If it is going to give me adrishtam, I am not interested. That is the approach of the Vedanta. And that is how the whole thing is, yeah.
Since there is no improvement in the way it is done, there should be no special result for the Kamya Karma. It should be the same as the result we studied.
Yeah, you have done that.
There must also be Tasmat na nityanam karmanam adishta phala bhavaha kadachitapi upapadyade.
Yeah, Shankara refused clearly that Nitya karma does not have any palam. That is illogical.
Nitya karma anushtana cannot remove karma totally, as it has its basis in ignorance.
Yeah.
If he acknowledges that there is punya, there is another problem. Because there is punya for this karma, there has to be another birth, janma, to exhaust it. Also, though the karma may be able to neutralize the duritas that you brought with you and those that you gathered in this birth, it is not going to exhaust all the karmas standing in your account that has not yet begun to fructify anarabdha karma. Then again, we are not sure whether we can neutralize all the duritas simply by doing nitya karma. We may be able to neutralize some and minimize some, but we may not be able to totally eliminate all of them. If someone commits a homicide, he is not going to neutralize that with a couple of oblations. If he had killed a mosquito, it might be good enough, but not for something heinous. Every day we gather so many papas just to live our life. Because we cannot avoid them, we have to neutralize them, and for that we do daily Nitya Karma. It does produce an unseen result, Adhishtapala, which may neutralize the papa that we collect day to day. Unless it produces a result, it is not going to neutralize anything. We have to produce an Adhishtapala to neutralize the Adhishtapala. It has to be of the same order of reality. Only the Adhishta Punya can neutralize the Adhishta Papa. And it can neutralize only the Prarabdha Papa Karma Pala, not the Anarabdha Papa Karma Pala. Therefore, the Karma Pala that was produced due to avidya, whether it is Punya or Papa, can be neutralized only by knowledge and not just doing the Nitya Karmas.
So this anarabdha meaning something remaining in our account for which this birth cannot account for. If you have a krura buddhi, you don't take a birth of a lion and exhaust it. In this human birth, you won't be able to exhaust that krura buddhi.
Atasya avidya purvakasya karmanaha vidya eva shubhasya ashubhasya va kshaya karanam aseshataha na nitya karma anushtanam.
So there is a clinching statement. He says only by vidya, only by understanding that the karma, you are not the karta. Yes, because of the karma only this body, mind, senses, complex is born and gone and all that. That's fine. But my reality is not is akarta. Body, mind, senses are blessed by me, but I am not body, mind, senses. Swamiji's famous statement: you are only a role player. A, B is A, but A is not B. So the understanding, Satyam Vidya, basically. Vidya, Satyam Vidya equation is A is B, B is A, but A is not B. Whereas if it is Satyam, A equal to B, B equal to A.
Yes.
That is Satyam, that we all know.
Yes.
But B is A, but A is not B means what? It is Vidya. B is Vidya. Like even the role player, like Amitabh Bachchan playing the role of a beggar. Beggar is only a Vidya. He himself knows. You don't have to tell him. That is why he is happily playing the role of a beggar. That we also know, then we can also happily playing the role of a grahastha or whatever. But we should know, it's only a role play. My reality is Purnam Brahma Ahamasmi. Like what I do in the Sandhyavandanam every day, Satyam is real Satyam for me. No, here and now that I am Purnam Brahma. Whatever I do is only a role play. I do whatever I best. Nimitta matram bhava sevesachi. I am not looking for Punya or Papa. I am not looking for plus or minus. Whatever comes, comes. That understanding, that only will give you. That's what he says. Atascha avidya purvakasya karmanaha vidya eva subhasya or asubhasya va kshaya karanam aseshataha. Without baki, without any balance, or whether it is punyam or papam, it will completely remove. Kshaya karanam. Na nitya karma anushtanam. Nitya karma anushtanam will not give you moksha. It makes it very clear. Yeah.
Avidya being the cause of all karmas, Jnana alone destroys it in one stroke. Now Shankara comes back to his original statement. Knowledge is the only cause for the destruction of karma, which has its basis in ignorance.
So, very clearly it says, Jnate Dvaitamna Vidyate. By understanding, there is no second. Second undadana karma. Let where is karma. Jnate Dvaitamna Vidyate is a famous statement in Mandukya Upanishad. Yeah. Actually, I think in Karika it says, Jnate Dvaitam Nivartate. Nivartate meaning Dvaitam goes away. Whereas Bhashyakara goes one step further and says, Jnate Dvaitam na Vidyate. It was never there.
Okay.
You only assumed.
Okay.
So you don't have, there is no Nivarti also. There is nothing to be done. Just understand and be done with it. It is a beautiful statement, this one.
Every karma produces a result. Karma, as we have seen, is threefold in terms of the means of doing it. It can be physical kayika, oral vachika, or purely mental manasa, though all three imply the use of the mind. When you sing in praise of the Lord, two things are involved, the voice as well as the mind. Whereas when you do meditation, it becomes purely mental. If we look at karma in terms of these three means of doing an action, we have a general format for analyzing all forms of prayer. It does not matter whose prayer it is. It will be covered by this format. And every form of prayer is as valid as another. Whether it is a Muslim's prayer, or a Christian's prayer, or a Jain's prayer, or a Parsi's prayer, or the prayer of someone from an African tribe, it is as valid as the Vedic prayer, because prayer is prayer. Whether it is a Vedic prayer or any other prayer, there will be result punya. Now, by whom is this karma done? There is an agent who says, I am the doer. In the vision of the Gita and the Upanishads, you are not the doer. You are Sat Chit Ananda Atma, and you perform no action. In your presence, all actions are done. The sense organs move about among their respective sense objects. Atma does not perform any action at all. Indriyani indriyarteshu vartande aham na kinchit karma karomi. Therefore, to perform an action, you must have avidya, ignorance, leading to the conclusion, I am the doer, karta. A karma that is done with this notion is born only of avidya, whether it is an auspicious Shubha karma, one that brings punya, or an inauspicious one, Ashubha, that brings papa. Both are based in ignorance, and therefore the cause for their exhaustion is knowledge alone. The karta has been gathering a lot of karma in his various accounts due to ignorance. One account is a term deposit called sanchita karma. The second is a current account, the karmas he is currently gathering, the agami karmas.
Agami
karmas.
Agami, what is going to come?
Agami karmas. Of course, there is the prarabdha karma, which is the third. All these are standing in the account of the karta as long as the karta is there. How are you going to exhaust them? By doing nitya karma or anything else, you are only adding to them. Or perhaps if you are doing them with the proper attitude as a yoga for gaining the right type of mind, as a result of those karmas, you will gain the right mind and you will come to appreciate the fact, I am not the doer, I am akarta. Then, whatever karma has accumulated in your account, old or new, is destroyed by knowledge. Knowledge, vidya, is the cause for their exhaustion in one stroke. Why one stroke? You knock off the kingpin, and when you do that, all that is resting on that falls apart. It is like the dreamer waking up. All the karmas done by that dreamer, good and bad, are cancelled. He cannot demand that someone that he loaned money to in the dream has to pay him back. If a person is accused like that, he can only say, if you meet me in your dream tonight, I'll pay you then. This is a meaningless thing. Once a person wakes up to the reality of the Atma being akarta, there is no longer any karma standing in this account. This is what we call moksha. The avidya is the kingpin. Knock that off, you have to bring in knowledge, vidya.
So that is what the dream of waking life is equated totally to dream. That is Mandukya Upanishad. Basically, what it says is the waking reality as good as the dream reality. So once you say both of them is a long dream, then what is the reality? You have to wake up from both the dreams. Like even waking up from a dream, you have to wake up from the waking reality. What is that waking up? Understanding that I am Akarta, I am the being. Everything else is changing, keeps on changing. That is all part of the dream, all called the waking life. So that clarity is understanding. Once you wake up, that is why Swakale Satyavat Bhati. Even the waking life is Swakale Satyavat Bhati. Prabodhe Asat. Prabodhe Asat. It all becomes Vidya. Asat meaning what? It will still continue. Like the sun you see, the blue, the sky you see, it will still remain to be a blue sky. But you know very well there is no sky. There is no blue. But you still appreciate blue sky. When you draw a blue sky. But knowing fully well there is no blue sky. There is no ceiling like that. So that is how our life also will be. I know that I am a karta, but all these things are happening and I am blessing them all the activities that happen in my own small way. That is why I am Ishvara's associate. Ishvara does everything else, I do my part of it in the Ishvara, as being Ishvara. Because karma is like that, it has got manifold activities, manifold events and objects and all that. So your own body, mind, senses can contribute only that much. Mitta matram bhava. So that is all part of the variation. There is no real, actually, ultimately speaking, there is no real. It's only like a dream. So, but within the dream also we have mountains, we have neighbors quarreling and crying and all that. The crying fellow, the shouting fellow, and the rest, the smiling fellow are one and the same you, the dreamer. That is the reality, but we don't know till the time we are in the dream. That's why he said, fellow gives you loan and fellow takes you loan, both of them are real only in the dream. Means if you insist on that after waking, he will say, okay, I will come in your dream and pay. So clear it is. So clarity is important. Yeah.
Prashant, will you read?
Yeah. Total surrender is the surrender of ego. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, but
Yeah.
little less. But okay.
Yes.
Little
Yes, you
less.
are audible.
Very loud.
Sorry?
Very loud.
Yeah, low. Basically, volume is low.
Let me increase the volume a little then. Now am I audible?
Yeah.
Total surrender is the surrender of ego. While some good karmas can neutralize some bad karmas, in order to eliminate karmas entirely, asheshataha, you have to eliminate the notion of being a karta, a kingpin. The notion, I am the doer, will not eliminate itself. People will say, surrender the ego. In Kali Yuga, surrender is the easiest. In fact, it is just the opposite. In any yuga, surrender is the most difficult. Why? Surrender itself is a very interesting thing. To whom should I surrender? If someone says, for example, that I should surrender to the king, this is an arrangement. I surrender to him and he gives me protection. It is the same with Bhagavan. What is that surrender? It is a contract. It is not a surrender. I will do namaskara to you and you give me this much. This is not an act of surrender. It is just another type of contract. Surrender is not that easy. Who is to surrender? It is to the ego. What does he have to surrender? Only himself. He cannot surrender anything else because it all belongs to Bhagavan. His body belongs to Bhagavan because it is part of the creation. That is why it is illegal to commit suicide. Father has a claim over the son's body, his son's body. The mother has a claim. The state has a claim. All the bugs have a claim. They are all inside saying, this is our house. What claim do you have? Nothing belongs to you, and therefore, because you have nothing to surrender, you cannot surrender anything. All you have is your notion about yourself, your ahankara. That is the only thing you can surrender. How are you going to do that? The ahankara is the one who goes about surrendering everything else. How can he surrender himself? In order to surrender the I notion ahankara, there must be another I aham. All I have is the ahankara. If this idam, I can surrender. I can remove the ahankara and give it to you. Who is to remove it? That is me. Therefore, I cannot surrender anything to anybody. That is why we keep on surrendering daily, my body, my wealth. Everything belongs to you, oh Lord. Tan man dhan, sab kuch hai tera. Yesterday, he said the same thing. Yesterday, he gave away everything, and today also he does the same. How can he give the same thing repeatedly? Suppose you want to borrow some money, say $10,000, because your small business is in some trouble. Your friend gives you $10,000 as cash in an envelope. You are so very happy. And as you are happily going away, he said to you, please leave that envelope behind. Why? You ask. He tells you, I'll give it to you tomorrow. You thought, okay, when I'm getting $10,000, I can come tomorrow. It is no problem. So you return the money and go again tomorrow, and the same thing happens. Then you ask in exasperation, why do you keep doing this? And he tells you, because I have decided to give you $10,000 daily. How would you feel? This is adding insult to injury.
It is exactly like our worship to Bhagavan.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Pulyan, Pathu Denga Vadagarayam.
नहीं इवन भक्ति जगह एटलीस्ट उड़कना उन्में बट वी सरेंडर तनु मन सब कुछ दे रहा है சொல்லிட்டு டெய்லி சொன்னா என்ன அர்த்தம் நேத்தி கொடுத்தது போய் இன்னைக்கு கொடுத்தது நிஜம் but okay the sense that is at one level the other level even then Swamiji will say it's okay if you do that at least one day or other that bhavana will become true you keep doing that daily you will develop that bhavana or it will grow on you that way bhakti is easy but what he is trying to say bhakti is very difficult it's not easy the surrenderer the ego is the only guy that is available after once you understand to that extent that my body mind senses my life everything around is purely Bhagavan has given then what I surrender only the ego has to surrender there should be a more what you call a more efficacious eye which can surrender the ego and you have not yet discovered that efficacious eye then how will you surrender ego is the only thing you have that is where it becomes very difficult bhakti ultimate bhakti becomes very difficult because of that whereas jnanam yes you understand that your reality is desha kala vastu aparichitam timeless spaceless objectless being is my reality and shastra comes and tells that is the reality of Ishvara also once your understanding is clear you can surrender the ego because ego is a false side you don't have any value for it okay I will still hold it for doing some சாப்பிட போறதுக்கு தூங்குறதுக்குலாம் I will use it now early morning எழுந்துக்கிறதுக்கு ஆபீஸ் போறதுக்கு I will use the operating you will be using the ego like a donkey he or she will do my bidding like we say no we work for money then money works for you after some time at some point in time in life money should start working for you endlessly you cannot be working for money that means you are a slave to the money very important
We cannot give the same thing again and again, but we are doing this every day to Bhagavan. Because he is Bhagavan, we can get away doing this.
he acknowledges. He has got that compassion, ultimate compassion. Suppose you do it for others, they won't like it.
After this also, he is allowing us to be alive here. I am not asking you to stop doing it. Because that prayer has a result which can be very helpful because it is not surrender. That should be one surrender and that is the dismissal of the ahankara. It can be dismissed in only one way by inquiry. It cannot span inquiry. Vicharam na sakate. Vicharam na
sakate. That cannot stand inquiry. That's what is the meaning.
Because it is false. Therefore, the only way the karta can go is by inquiring into the nature of it.
So this is where, very important point is this. Where bhakti, ultimate bhakti and ultimate jnanam are one and the same. No doubt. Bhagavan himself says that. But how to get that surrender of ego and totally merging with Bhagavan, like what we are, some of the Nayanmar, Alvas and all, that stories are all there. But how it happened is purely again Ishvara Anugraha Deva. You are purely by way of Anugraha, maybe some Purva Janma was already there. They were able to surrender without understanding what it is all about, but still they were able to surrender the ego totally to Bhagavan. That can happen. But that is in the realm of, you have to give the benefit of doubt and leave it at that. But you cannot make it as an example and say, I will live like that. How do you know that you, whereas understanding is there is a guru, there is an acharya, there is shastra, talks about this reality. Understanding is easier compared to ultimate bhakti. That's what Swamiji is trying to say. We people think bhakti is easier because they don't want to go for understanding. But understanding is easier, very logical. That's what he's trying to say.
There again, there is a problem. How can I inquire into the ahankara? If I go on asking the question, who am I, who am I, who am I? What answer will I get? The answer depends on my conclusion about myself because I am asking myself. If I think I am an idiot, that is what the answer is going to be. By asking the question, who am I repeatedly, how am I going to get an answer that is anything more than what I already know about myself? If I can know something more about myself, if it is only about my psychology, that is all I can know. And that does not solve the problem. It does help, but it does not solve the problem completely. There is no answer to this question unless I have a means of knowledge, pramana. When I inquire into the Vedanta Shastra, what is the subject matter? Atma alone. Even though I analyze the karmas like Agnihotra, where does it come back to? The one who does the karma, the karta, again it comes back to myself alone. This Atma is the subject matter of the inquiry here. The notion that I am the experiencer of the results of action, that or the one who does the karma, the karta, is analyzed in 100 different ways. And that sense of doership, kartrutva, and everything centered on it will not go unless I conduct a Shastra Vichara and inquiry into the Shastra. Thus the Shastra becomes a mirror for me to look at myself and what I am. The Ahankara does not really do any job here, it only disappears. The mind
We have discussed it many times. அடையாத விருந்தாளி கல்யாணத்தில் அடையாத விருந்தாளி. That is Ahankara. Pseudo self.
The Ahankara does not really do any job here, it only disappears. The mind buddhi has an erroneous cognition, buddhi with reference to I, aham. The Shastra creates a buddhi that destroys that erroneous cognition, revealing that I am Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. This is the buddhi which destroys the Ahankara. Thereby, this knowledge is the cause for the destruction of all karma, not the practice of Nitya Karma. Nitya Karma is the cause of Antakarna Shuddhi. It creates a necessary atmosphere inside and the cloud circumstances outside. It does make sure that I have a proper frame of mind and also a conducive situation to pursue this knowledge. That is all we require anyway.
This I have told so many times in our discussion.
Then when the vichara is there, knowledge will be there. That is the only way to destroy karma. All actions have their cause in ignorance and desire. All types of actions, whether scripturally enjoined or secular, have their cause in ignorance and desire. Avidya kama bijam ki sarvameva karma.
Yeah. Yes. Kama bijam. Avidya kama karma is a triad. It is a cycle. Vidya leads to kama, kama leads to karma. Karma leads to birth. Then again avidya, kama, karma, vidya, kama. There is a chakra. Yeah.
First, the action implies the doer karta. Without looking at myself as a doer, there is no possibility of an action coming into being. We can also say that if I do not look upon myself as a karta, the action is only as though. But we are not talking about that here. We are not talking about the karma of a jnani who does not look upon the Atma as a doer and whose action is therefore called badita.
Cancelled, badita. Badita means as though. Yeah.
His action cannot produce an unseen result. It is like a roasted seed which cannot sprout. This is knowledge, not just an attitude. If you have the attitude that because of Ishvara's grace you are a doer karta and you become a devotee bhakta, that attitude will help you gain antakarna shuddhi because you can observe the result of karma as it comes. With the understanding that it is given by Ishvara, but that is purely an attitude. The knowledge that Atma is not a doer, that actionlessness is the nature of Atma, is not there. If that knowledge is absent, what will you have? Ignorance. When you say, I am a doer karta, that is ignorance. Then naturally you become a small person. To understand that Atma is not a doer, you have to understand that Atma is Brahman. In the appreciation of Atma being Brahman, there is no sense of lack. And therefore, because of his fullness, Purnatva, there is no desire, kama.
Explain.
If ignorance is there, there will be doership, and then the desire, kama, to achieve small results cannot be avoided. Therefore, ignorance and desire, avidya and kama, are the cause for all forms of karma. The Gita talks about karma is meant for ajnanis, and jnana nishta has meant for jnanis.
We will stop here.
Yeah, okay. So it's a very good, nicely yes, concluded now. He has taken us out of that jnana karma samuchaya of the Purva Mimamsaka. And he has told very clearly karma as a place, only as a yoga. And till the time you get the attitude, even the surrender, bhakti and all that, Swami is very clear. Even the who am I inquiry, basically that, there is some controversy like, there is extensively that Homa inquiry, what Tirunamale Ramana Maharishi's thing that has been told. Now this Ramana Charita Swami, that Nochur is now bringing it out, ensuring that Homa inquiry and Ramana's way of presenting is very much in line with Advaita Vedanta, which Swamiji is telling. In the sense, you have to understand. See, he had that, at that level of understanding, he had that. But when you ask him questions, you are able to explain, and you have to connect to Advaita Vedanta, that is understanding. The sense, who am I? I am the awareful being, Tesa Kala Vastu Aparichinnam, and Aham Brahmasmi. This is the understanding. That understanding culminates by the Shastra, Acharya, Upadesha, and your own attitude, your sadhana chatushtaya sampannam, your way of living, all qualifications, whatever we have discussed in the 12th chapter, we'll be discussing, we have discussed in the 16th chapter, that Shraddha, even the Shraddha, Bhakti Shraddha, also there will be Sattva Shraddha, not Rajasika Shraddha, Tamasika Shraddha, and all that. So all those things, so many things are there, fall in place for you to understand that I am Brahmasmi. So you cannot just, okay, you sit there and who am I keep asking and I will get to know. There is no way you will get to know, because you will know only what you know till now. What you know till now is your business below inside. That is why you are going there. So it will only get reinforced. By going there, you will come back, you will go as dumb, come out as dumb. That's what Swamiji will always used to say. But there are people who tell, no, I went there, my life changed. There are plenty of stories that are there. But maybe they are inspirational, no doubt. But you cannot put it as part of the teaching. You can't bring it down. That is what now the Samana Charita Swami is trying to do. Mature is trying to do. Is trying to formulate it. What does it want Bhagavan meant through the Advaita Vedanta. It's a very good effort, no doubt. But that is okay. That's fine. There is nothing wrong in that. But what Swamiji says is that then there is a Raja Marga is there. There is somebody, the Shastra is there, Gita is there, Brahmasudra is there. There is someone to teach. Why do you wait for an inspiration to happen on fine morning? Understand? And you have your lifestyle as Karma Yoga. Karma do as Karma Yoga. All the time grow into Karma Yoga so that you are able to take care of your day-to-day activities and still have the leisure to pursue understanding. And the understanding is Aham Brahmasmi, whatever we are doing in our day-to-day Vedika life, that is a reality, and you have to claim that reality. Once you claim that reality, revisit all that whatever I do and do it with the same bhavana. Like I am taking the role of a beggar, like Amitabh Bachchan. Bring it in your day-to-day life. Bring it in. Then you will not be doing any. You will not have any great plus and minus. Yo-yo mentality will not do. Just do it, whatever. So you will be mentally free. You will be that you may be productive and efficient. It is only a corollary benefit. But that is not the benefit we are looking for. What we are looking for is understanding, freedom here and now. This life, I want to make it. I have to go away with the understanding that Purnam Brahma Ahamasmi. So whatever I do in the Sandhyavandanam, Asavadityo Brahma, Brahmeva Ahamasmi, Brahmeva Satyam is Satyam for me in this life. So that way you continue to do the Nitya Karma, Sandhyavandanam with that understanding. Every day when you do that with that understanding of the three Velai, because that understanding is not a conditioning, it's not a positive conditioning or something, it is reality. How it is reality? Go back to the second chapter. Understand. Nasato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sataha, ubayor vidishtam kaha, dvaneyoho tattvadarshana. All those 20, 211 to 230. Every verse is an upadesa of the same understanding. That you are here and now Purnam Brahma Ahamasmi, Desakala, Vastu Aparichinnam, timeless, spaceless, objectless being. You are not a thing, but just the being. Everything else is a thing. They are all blessed by me. Or Ishvara, either way. Because Ishvara is also the same being. There is no Ishvara other than the being. That clarity and understanding will help you to say, who am I? And the being. You can still in meditation, contemplate. When you go to Ramanashram, you will be able to do the meditation properly there. Who am I? And the being. You will get more blessed. And you may be perhaps able to inspire some people around you also. Very important. Yeah.
Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om.
Om.
Shri Guru Namaha. Hari Om.